So what we're going to do now is I'm going to show you how the scan worked out for one of the books. I'll do one page, and then we're going to move on to how to put this into a Flash program so that you can run the book in Flash. You want to make sure that you take out all the text in the pages so that you're going to be, remember, you're going to be the one reading the book as they advance the programs. You're going to want to come up with a set of buttons that will be similar to images, or you want the navigation to be somewhat similar to what your book's about. So we'll talk more about that when we talk about navigation. So what I've done is I've scanned the Rainforest book in. Now I need to go in and clean it up, because as you can see, some of this isn't going to work out real well for us, so we need to go in and kind of clean this up. I need to come in here, and I'm going to select this, and I just want to select the image. I don't want to select the book. I don't want to do anything else but keep that image clean. I go to Image, Crop, and now I have this image. The next process is going to be basic. We've talked about how to use the tools in Photoshop, the rubber stamp tool or the clone tool. So if I click this, what I'm going to do is pretty much try and stay within these areas and get as close to the image as possible. Remember, we hold the Alt key down to select this area, and now what I'm going to do is kind of come in here and try and fix this. The other thing you want to remember is, in this case, I don't want a hard brush. I want to use one that's feathered so that the image looks a little better for me. So I'm out here, and I'm going to come back in here, reselect, click, and kind of go through and notice how the feather edge looks much better than this hard edge one up here. So we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to kind of come in here and clean up this whole area and kind of take away what was there before so that we don't have it as an issue. So you're going to pretty much do the same thing here, and it's going to be a long, tedious process, but fortunately it's one of those ones that we have to do, and believe me, your book will look fantastic once you're done. You also want to try and get this out as well, so one of the things you probably want to do is this. Click here, and as you go down, just kind of clean it up. Watch where you're clicking though, because you want to be real careful about what it is you're trying to do. If I hold the mouse key down, the left mouse key, you'll notice that I can kind of make short work of some of these areas here. I'm going to do the same thing here and just kind of go through. I don't want to pick that up, so I got to kind of go back and just kind of watch what it is that I am doing here, so that I'm not making more work for myself. The bigger brush is going to make shorter work of a lot of the things you have to do, so you want to think about that. And again, you want to try and make sure when you're doing this that the direction that you're moving in, you're taking the color here. If I was going this way and going back, I'm going to run into some problems because I'm going to end up taking some stuff that I don't need. So we're just going to come in here and kind of clean this up like that, and pretty soon you won't even be able to tell that this book even had these issues with the pages. So we're just going to kind of keep coming, and you want to work, in this case, if I'm selecting over here to the left, I obviously am going to want to work left to right. So we're just going to keep doing that and cleaning up the book as we go. Okay. And you'll notice now, the nice part about this is it's cleaning up pretty nice. And you just want to try and be consistent. I'm going to click here and then move to my left now. And you'll notice if I hold the left mouse button key down, I'm really starting to move a little faster. I have to kind of go over back and forth. And at some point I'm going to have to decide where the clouds begin and end. But this should give us a good idea We're just about done there. I think I'm going to carry the cloud over a little more this way. Not too bad. If you didn't know, you probably wouldn't know that we had a seam there. So that's pretty much what you're going to do with the books. If you have an issue of colors that are off, let me view on screen. Say this side of the book colors are different. You want to go in, and what you're going to do is, let's deselect. You would come in over here, grab the page or as close to the center as possible, select that page, and then come into your images and adjust. You could adjust your color balances or your brightness and contrast depending on what the problem is. And so one of the nice things that you can do is, if you're working with the color balance, you can come in and start to, you'll notice, change the colors and work with the colors more. So you'll just kind of have to go through and kind of match it up and see what the issue is. But hopefully when you scanned it, you didn't have those problems. Okay, you'll notice that we're pretty lucky in that the text is over large areas that really don't have a lot of text in it, or don't have a lot of other images. So to go through, if I'm going to rubber stamp this, I can pretty much kind of play around with it and figure out how big that brush can be to make shorter work of what I'm trying to do here. So if I grab this, click, I can pretty much just kind of go through and start to get rid of this image. Click again, down here closer, and I'm coming through and I'm going to get rid of that. Now you got to kind of be careful, because part of what I want to do is I'm going to grab this part of the cloud over here so I can get this, because I don't want a repeating pattern happening and make it look like the clouds not realistic. Once I'm done though, let me finish this up and I'll show you. I'm going to grab that, and then I'm going to come over here and just kind of go through. If I think that the cloud is repeating too much, oops, let's get rid of that and we'll try it again. We're going to just come over here, get rid of that. If I think the cloud's repeating too much, and boy, you're going to have to be really good to think that you can see, what's going on. You can kind of just go through and change it around like that, and notice we got all the text gone. I can use my smudge tool and just kind of come in here and smudge the cloud a little bit. Just move it around, kind of get a smudge going in there so that it kind of starts to take on a different look to it. Okay, so that's what's going on there. I'm going to deselect that. So once I have all of these things out of here, the nice part is I'll be able to come in and make short work of most of this. You pretty much can come in and get rid of a lot of this. You're going to have to kind of go in and just think about how you're going to take this. And again, use that smudge tool so that you can get rid of some of this stuff, this extraneous stuff. And that way the colors can look a little more realistic. So if I come in here again, I'm just going to kind of come in here and use my smudge tool. You can see that it's kind of smudging out. And I can change my strength here, so if I want it much stronger, I can do that. And again, we're going to make real short work of some of this stuff just by coming in here and then, getting rid of just by dragging. Makes it pretty simple if I come in here and just drag this across. Remember, kind of pay attention to where that selection tool is, because the last thing we want to do is repeat a pattern that we didn't want in the first place. And we're just exchanging one pattern for the next, and we don't want to do that. So you can see that that's making pretty short work of this stuff here. Okay. I'm going to come in here, see if I can grab that. No, I didn't like the way that one worked. So I'm going to come back and just kind of select that and come in here. Okay, so you can see that this is pretty quick work. You'll have to do it for all your pages, but by the time you're done, this is going to look fantastic. Again, you'll want to do that for your whole book. So hopefully you didn't pick a really long, big book. You can see that we have a little bit of a different color here. So if you want to go in and select this area again and manipulate you can see if you look real close that these are two colors. If you want to come in and manipulate that area, feel free to do that. And again, try using the biggest brush you can for the larger areas, because that way it'll make short work of a lot of this. So if I click here and I just come down, notice how I can get rid of these really quickly. And I'm just going to come in here. Remember, we don't want to repeat that pattern. So we kind of want to be careful and see where we're working. Notice how quick this is. I mean, we are just really making short work of this stuff here. And unless you're really good and zoom in on this, chances are you are not going to know that this is exactly how you did this. Okay, and click here again so that this pattern comes over here. Who would have known that didn't have that cloud there? Same thing here. Pick your patterns and what you think is going to be closest to what you need, and then that way you can really kind of get in there and clean that up. This is probably, in my opinion, of all the projects that we do, one of the funnest and most satisfying ones, I think, because you get to put out this product that looks just fantastic. I mean, you know, you've seen the students work in here. This just rocks. Okay, so you're going to, and the other thing you want to do is you're going to want to crop these images, crop the backgrounds out so that you're not stuck with the book, let's say the book, or other pages that might show through or that scanned through. So you're going to want to make sure you crop those out. And look at that page. How could you possibly tell what the heck was going on there? You can't. We scanned it in at a high quality. We've got great results. We're probably going to want to look at image size and try and remember that this is our image size, because this is pretty much what we want to be working with. 11.5 by 6.8, and you want to write that down somewhere so that you have that when you're working with it. If you have any questions, give me a call. Don't forget, you're going to want to read this text for this page, and we're going to now I'll show you what we're going to do with that later, but remember, you're going to want to keep this image and write it down somewhere. And if you got any questions, give me a call or email me now that the email's fixed. Don't forget, when you go to save these as right here, you're going to want to save this as, you could save this as page 1. Just remember which page is which. We're going to save it as page 1. The JPEG quality you want to have high. You can have it really high and keep the quality and the file size large. Flash is going to condense that and make it smaller, so you don't have to worry about that. Flash is going to optimize this whole file, so we want to start out with the best possible quality and then move on from there. If you have any questions, give me a call.